Hi everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you, I guess, another Team Tiny video, but this time we are celebrating Catherine Kelly and her reaching her 1,000 subscriber milestone. We were tasked with basically checking out her channel and either kind of casing something she had done or using, like some of her mannerisms or things like that in her videos that she uses in her videos in our video. I decided that I like Catherine's style and I like the projects she made, but I would much prefer take something that somebody has done, like her cards or her style, and make something that is my own out of it. I do this on my own channel and my own series, and I find that it really helps me stretch my creativity. So Catherine Kelly makes a lot of cards for kids. She donates them to an organization where they bring joy to lots of kids. I'll have that organization linked below for you if you decide you want to check it out. I'll also have Catherine's channel linked below where you can find lots more information on it. So I decided that instead of casing a particular card, that I would case Catherine's particular personality, I guess. So children's cards, she's very, very big on those. She makes them all the time. The other thing that she does a lot of is, well, she lives by the water. So she does a lot of, in real life, being on the water. That her and her husband are always on the boat. They recently got a camper and put it in their backyard and like renovated it and made it into a Airbnb. Like, she's all about living on the beach. So I thought I would combine her love of the real life water and her love of making kids cards, and I would create a card based on that, because in reality, that's what this is about. It's absolutely about Catherine Kelly and what she has done for me to inspire me. There's giveaways, and we'll get into that, but I also wanted to talk a little bit more about Catherine and how she started this small little group on YouTube called Team Tiny. She decided to help group small content creators together and to kind of join everybody together to work together to build each other up to reach our monetization goals, or just to help us connect with one another. And that's what has gone on. And as you see from my channel, I am now over 1,000 subscribers strong, and so is she, and so are several others. So what she has done has worked. So while I've been chatting here, what I have done is used some stencils from MFT, and I also pulled out a stencil from Sassy and Crafty. It is their comic book stencil, and I added some little sun rays where my sun is going to be, using that. I used Distress Oxide ink for that, and everything else is Distress ink. The oxides blend over top really nicely. So for the giveaway, one of our other Team Tiny buddies, Sharon Leska, I'll have her video linked below as well, or her channel linked below. She was tasked with helping Catherine celebrate. Now, she contacted several manufacturers and has gotten them to graciously donate prizes, and these are some amazing prizes. Pink in Maine donated a $50 value prize pack. It's open to the United States only. Tonic Studios has a $50 voucher that's international. Trinity Stamps has a $25 gift certificate. Poppy Stamps, also a $25 gift certificate. Avery Elle is jumping in on the $25 gift certificate mark. WOW Embossing Powder has a $20 gift certificate, and Newton's Nook also has a $20 gift certificate. These are super generous prizes, and you just have to comment below. And to hop along on this kind of a hop, you just click on the hashtag that's below, and it'll bring up all the different content creators that are here to celebrate Catherine Kelly today. For my little characters, I decided before I got into the coloring while I was doing the stamping, I would go ahead and take care of their clothes. This little guy, I wanted to paper piece his shorts, and I decided to also paper piece the bucket that I was using. And I just pulled out some patterns from the MFT, the brand new MFT paper pack that has some super tiny prints. They work well with small images. And here I'm just shading them because everything should have shading because I'm shading the images. So I did leave the coloring in, most of it anyway. Catherine does some coloring. She's actually brand new to Copic markers, and I would encourage her to continue to practice with them, but she's not bad at coloring. She's really not. She knows what she's doing. So I did color some images in her honor. This is some simple coloring. One thing I will tell you is these little characters, I feel like they were on the beach a little bit too long, and I thought that it would be super fun to color them with a sunburn. I know you don't always color critters with a sunburn, but I decided that that's what I was going to do. So I did show the coloring here. This is the E70, and I'm just filling in, I think he's a little dog, with this E70 marker, kind of as a base to saturate the paper. And I guess if you'd have got his umbrella out a little bit sooner, we wouldn't have a sunburn, but he does. I pulled in the E74 and I added that to where there would be shadows along his body, kind of right underneath his muzzle there, on the underside of his arm, either side of his body, etc. And I just deepened them here with the E74. Now I'm doing this new thing with my editing. This is my coloring in real time here. I'm kind of slowing the coloring down instead of speeding it up like I had been, so you can really get in and see what I'm doing. I know that it makes my videos a little bit longer, but I hope that it's a more comfortable or pleasurable viewing experience. You'll have to let me know what you think. I did pull this all the way out to the darkest E79 here, so there was an E77 in there while I was talking, because I wasn't sure how deep I wanted this to get. The E79 I just put in a few places just to deepen it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. And I think this is about the time where I decided that I wanted to give him that sunburn and make him look, fun. I didn't have that idea at first. That was not my original intention. But I did like what it did to the character. It just added so much story to these little characters in my mind. Like, they've been hanging out on the beach all day. They probably got lunch. They rang Catherine's doorbell. She probably gave them sandwiches and something to drink and sent them down to the beach. I know she's got kids of her own, so I'm sure she knows how to treat kids and little characters. So she probably just, hooked them up real hard with a bunch of snacks and sent them down to the beach. And they probably didn't put sunscreen on as often as she told them to. And then they ended up with a sunburn. And then she probably said, hey, put some sunscreen on and take this umbrella back down to your buddy because you all look like, you're sunburned. So take care of it. So in my mind, that's what's going on in the scene here. So for my little bunny, I did pull out my W7 here for my shadows. I wanted to really deepen up the shadow, but I did use the same tones here to color my bunny, or for his sunburn. I did pull in, the same RV42 for his sunburn, and I don't know. I really feel like these little guys were hanging out on Catherine's beach and got a little bit too close to the sun without the sunscreen and without the umbrella. She was probably yelling at them. I can just hear her. I just hear her yelling at them, telling them, stop being so silly and get out of the sun. You should have put your sunscreen on. Oh, and by the way, where is your jacket? You're supposed to have a life jacket on. You're not supposed to be by the water. What is going on? And that's just a little story that I can think of is what's going on. I just thought that this would be a really good way to honor her instead of casing one of her cards or one of the things that she has done on her channel, that I would just take the impression of her and I would run with it. And I am hoping that she appreciates that. She does have some amazing content on her channel. She experiments with different mediums and different papers, and she's always experimenting with something. And it's very interesting to see the end results, what she comes up with. The ideas she has are sometimes absolutely phenomenal, and I wonder where she got them from. How her mind works to even think of those things. So if you're looking to, I guess, experiment without doing it yourself, Catherine's channel is a very good place to start. She also has a heart of gold as far as giving cards to children and other organizations just to help brighten people's days. It's something that I used to do. I used to donate a lot of cards to an organization called Operation Right Home, and I haven't for a long time, but she inspires me to want to do that more often for sure. I decided orange is going to be my pop of color here. I used it on the umbrella. You can see how I gave it that shine. I don't know, figured that the orange would bring out the sunburn maybe, you know, and I just feel like orange, Catherine would have a giant orange umbrella. I just feel like she probably does have one somewhere, orange or maybe like hot pink. I think she's with all boys. I think she has boys, and it's her and her husband and their boys, teenage boys, and I feel like she probably has some of the most girly things there are. So for my little sandcastle, you see, and I stippled that a little bit just to add a little bit of texture. And for the sun, I colored it yellow, and I did add a little bit of shading to the one side. And I did stamp the sun actually on the background panel because I wasn't sure exactly how the die was for this, if it cut out all the rays or if it just cut out the circle for the sun. But it does cut out the sun. And it's not like equal. It's not, the little sun rays are not equal. I don't know what the right word is, but I had to like spin it around to find the right spot on where I had stamped it. So they're not all equally spaced. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. So I did just place the little paper pieces on their respective places and adhered them down. And here I was trying to glue that sun down where it goes. And I'm gonna lay out my scene and decide how I want to place everything. I still need to stamp a sentiment, and I need to decide what I'm going to pop up and what I'm not going to pop up. So here I'm stamping this sentiment. It goes all the way across my oval, which is really neat. It almost looks like I had thought of that in advance, but I did not. It says warmest birthday wishes. I feel like this would be kind of a card that Catherine would donate to one of those kids organizations. I just can't express enough how much she does that. She donates every quarter, lots and lots of cards, and she makes tons and tons of cards, and like I said, has a heart of gold for that. I did pull out my Marvy snow marker, and I added some foam on the beach line here, and I just heated it up with my ink blending. Heated it up with my heat tool, and I did pop up this guy with the umbrella with some foam tape. I have foam tape on the back of all of the little bits and pieces here. Put in his little bucket and the little sand castle, and that is my little scene. I thought it was super adorable. And I did trim down this polka dot paper. It's the same paper I used to paper piece the bucket, and I just had trimmed down my panel enough so that showed a little bit, so it added a little more pop of color behind, and it shows that it coordinates really well. And then I layered this all on a piece of black cardstock, and that frames up my front panel. I just think his sunburn looks so cute. I know sunburn shouldn't look cute, but I think it does. Have you ever colored something with a sunburn? I'm curious. I don't know. Sometimes my mind, it just gets away from me, and then I start doing weird things like giving a sunburn to a dog and a bunny, and then making up a story about how, I don't know. Do you like make up little stories when you're making scenes in your head? Because I do. And then I added some shimmer here to the sun, the umbrella, to their sunburn, to the bucket, to all the things. I was just adding the sparkle to everything, and it made me happy, and things that make me happy are good. I added a little bit of white gel pen details to their cheeks, just little dots, and a shine line to the bucket. A few little dots to the sandcastle to add texture to the sand, and then black glaze pen to their eyes and the little bunny's nose, and to the little puppy's nose as well, so that they shine and are pretty. For the inside of the card, I did make a little tiny scene. I used this shadow gray. It's probably my most used ink pad. I need to probably get a big one. I just stamped the little coconut tree and the sandcastle, and then for the sun, I decided to stamp that in the same yellow that I used for the sun rays on the front, just so I could overlay that over the palm tree or coconut tree. What is that? It's the same thing, isn't it? I did add some glossy accents to hold down a few little of these heart-shaped sequins. My sister-in-law gave these to me years ago. I don't know what company they are. I have transferred them into my like bead case, and there's like hearts and flowers and stars in there, I think. They're super cute, but I thought that they would go really well with this, just a couple of them. And then I did add a little bit of glitter to the foam in the back. I thought that would be kind of a neat addition. So that is my card for today. I will have Catherine's channel linked below. I'll have Sharon's channel linked below. And then all you have to do is click on the hashtag. It'll bring you to other people that are playing along in the Celebrate Catherine Hop today. Thank you for stopping by. And as I always say, give cards generously. Bye.